Hey guys, it's Beginnings here. I hope you guys are having a wonderful end to your weekend. Today's video is going to be a Baldum video just because it's been kind of a hot minute since I have made one of these. It's definitely been a good little bit of time, and Baldum is definitely one of my favorite tanks right now. So I figured, why not? He's really strong for solo queue, so I figured that would help a lot of you out as well. What else? I don't know. He's just really strong. He can peel, he can engage, he can disrupt, he can stop objectives, he can push objectives. He's a great time. So level 1, I have a feeling that the Grak is going to end up invading my Lindis. So I start on the same side of the jungle as him, and I end up getting hooked. Unfortunately, since there are quite a few people around, L'Oreal does not hit level 2 off of the first minion wave, which means that defending this invade is a little bit awkward. Also, the fact that we have two people Dark Slayer lane would also make it very difficult to defend. You see Elsu and Arthur are both in our Dark Slayer lane. Very interesting. Somebody got a little bit mixed up here. Now I'm helping the L'Oreal clear and also soaking for a few reasons. 1, I want to hit level 2. 2, I had stacks, and 3, just helping your mid laner clear faster is usually pretty helpful if you can get a rotation off before them. I see that Kriknak takes out his red buff right then and there, but I also see that the Vera is walking into me. The L'Oreal shoots her little wheel way wide, and so the Vera isn't slowed, and so she will get away scot-free. I don't know how you actually miss a skill shot by that much, but it's okay. We're not going to it's fine. We see that our Lindis is there, so we go ahead and flicker toss onto the Vera, securing the first blood onto her. The Kriknak jumps in, but does not really achieve anything at all, and immediately dashes out. I ping the Sentinel because I would like to do it. It's a pretty good objective to do early on, especially if the Dragon is not even up. I also have a pretty good feeling that the Kriknak isn't going to be going to Dragon. He comes to Sentinel to contest, but instead is chunked out. I know that his blue is going to be up soon, so we can either take Dragon or go to his blue, but instead, Lindis decides that she wants to go back to her blue, which is also a pretty fine call. I am sitting here waiting for the L'Oreal, who is doing her own thing. I guess she was solo invading the blue until she decided against it, so I'm not going to be able to make that rotation up top. Unfortunately, Elsu will have to endure their pressure for just a little bit longer. The mid wave is now cleared. I'm waiting for my L'Oreal, and I see that the Elsu gets hooked. He kills the Grak, and I accidentally dash upwards instead of canceling my dash. That was awkward and my bad completely. L'Oreal absolutely destroys her combo. That was a complete butchering of the L'Oreal combo. I see that the Arthur is jumping onto the Vera, so I go ahead and follow him up, and it secures another kill for our team. So far, we have 2/3 kill participation, which is feeling pretty great so far. I have a feeling that this Florentino is going to be a problem, so I go ahead and throw down my ultimate. I managed to catch the Florentino with a smallest little bit of HP. Instead of the Lindis attacking the Florentino, she decides to go for the Grak instead, and I toss the Grak, but Lindis decides to chase up instead of attacking the Grak. Very interesting decision making, I guess, there. It's fine. Their jungler and their Dark Slayer laner both got pretty chunked out, which means that we can secure this Dragon. With a nice little Dragon underneath our belt, we're just going to go ahead and reset because we are, in fact, pretty low. Lindis is going back into her jungle pretty soon. I think her blue is about to respawn. Kriknak's blue just did respawn, so that means that hers is up in literally any second now. I make my way up towards the top side of the map just because, again, that's where I know Lindis's next buff is going to be, so I don't want Grak to be a nuisance for her. I see the Elsu is fighting the Hayate, but there's a mid wave for us to be clearing. The Vera does actually a pretty decent chunk of damage. The Hayate does manage to kill the Elsu, but Lindis rotates up and finishes off the Hayate, managing to get us some nice little kills. I guess they had vision of me there, and I got hit by a max range hook, so I will die. That was definitely a little bit unfortunate. Our bad for sure. We should have been paying more attention to everyone collapsing on us. I don't know why I played that so stupidly, but it's okay. We live and we learn. They have 2 bot right now, but it doesn't look like they're actually pressuring the bot tower. They're pressuring the red buff instead. Lindis unfortunately was forced to clear mid because both me and the mid laner died. She will be losing the red buff, and Arthur is going to be jumping in 1v4 and dying. Don't really know what the decision making that went into that were, but it's okay. We're just gonna go ahead and hold his wave because we don't want any wasted gold or a free tower for the Florentino. With the wave gone and Florentino gone, I know I don't have to clear the next wave, so I can start rotating up, especially with Arthur respawning. I run into the Florentino in the river, and boy, that kind of sucked, especially since I was panning up top, so I didn't actually see him at first. I have a feeling that the Vera is going to be rotating down here, and we do see her right now. L'Oreal, I think, sees me. Lindis is on her way. I get the Grak into my ultimate, and I toss the Vera back into my team. L'Oreal unfortunately messes up her combo once again, so the Vera will escape, but we will take out the Grak. It's really tilting, actually, this L'Oreal, how bad I guess she is. Like, she never wants to kill the right target, so it always, or she just messes up her combo, so it always ends up being pretty awkward. I'm rotating up because I see Hayate is bullying this Elsu. I go ahead and predict his ultimate, waiting for him. I just kind of knew he was going to do it, especially since he didn't ult for the fight with Elsu. With the Hayate dead and the Grak nowhere to be seen, I think he just respawned. We will be taking the top tower. That is pretty nice for us. It frees our ADC quite a bit. Now would be a really good point for our ADC and our Darkslayer laner to swap, but I do see that the Lindis is bullying this Vera, so I'm going to go ahead and flicker toss, securing us that kill and potentially making it so we can push down this mid tower. It's looking like it's a possibility, especially with our 2 ADCs, and yep, there it goes. Unfortunately, L'Oreal and Arthur both died bot, but it's okay because Lindis can rotate to catch the wave, so they're not going to be getting a tower out of it. In fact, they don't get anything out of the 2 kills they got, and we got a mid tower, so feels great for us. After this bot wave, I think we go for the Sentinel really quickly while we wait for our team to respawn. We're not really pushing too aggressively just because we have 2 off the map right now, and by we, I mean I personally. I can't speak for any of my teammates like that Elsu who just got chunked. Elsu lands a really nice point blank snipe, and I go ahead and toss the Vera away from Elsu, making sure that she does not one-shot him. My team takes out the Vera, and we will be collapsing on this Hayate next, especially since he's greeting out for this tower. Feels bad for him, but we will take him out in just a second. We go ahead and toss him to cancel his ultimate, and we secure another kill with our little stomp. Unfortunate, but it's okay because the kill was still secured. So far they have 3 missing on the map right now, and they were all around bot side just a minute ago, so we do have to be pretty careful here, L'Oreal and I. We get vision on the Grak, and he misses a hook, so that is significantly less pressure on us now. We can make our way into the jungle and not be worried about being picked or CC chains to oblivion. The Elsu pushed out top, and we run into Florentino, but he is we're not going to chase too much, I guess. It's fine. Elsu rotated down, but there's not really much going on. I ping the bot tower because I really want the Elsu to go bot, but he is kind of refusing to do so. Their refusal to switch really actually, like, I don't know how to explain it. Their refusal to switch really messes up our rotations, and not only our rotations, but our complete macro. Because once you have an ADC take a tower in a lane, especially like 7-8 minutes into the game, you really should swap and have the ADC also push bot, and you just make whatever lane that the ADC is in your attack lane, especially when you have a Darkslayer laner like Arthur. He's pretty useless outside of like 1v1s, so you know. Anyways, our L'Oreal rather, gets caught out, and so we're kind of forced to back off, especially since we know that there are quite a few people around the bottom side of the map. Lindis is back in her jungle. We can maybe get some pressure around the top half of the map just because we know that they can potentially be doing Darkslayer. They do show 3 mid, but that doesn't actually cut out their the chances of them doing Darkslayer just because they have a quick knack. We help out this Elsu a little bit, and by help out, I mean we show up at the last possible second and do absolutely nothing. Elsu manages to solo kill the Hayate, which is pretty good for us. Arthur is getting picked off once again because, once again, we knew that there were 4 people on the bottom side of the map. and we had one down, so it was a really good time to pressure the other half of the map. Lindis is rotating up, and we have a 99.99% chance that they're doing Darkslayer, but it's kind of just too late. We can trade this top tower for the Darkslayer just because we weren't on the side of the map to contest it because our we were just one down. The Hayate makes it back in time to defend, and Elsu is getting really, really greedy. I really wish he would have just left. I tried to throw my ult out to help him a bit, but the Florentino is just way too fast, so Elsu will die. And yeah, that really sucks, but it's okay because we don't have to really do anything. In fact, I throw the Kriknak into my team and he lives with the smallest sliver of HP. The Grak gets a little ult off, but he doesn't really succeed in doing much. We take out the Grak. The Kriknak is out of the fight 100%. The Hayate gets a little bit chunked out, and so does the Florentino, and both teams actually will be backing off, licking their wounds. The Vera actually walks into me instead, so she's gonna die for her mistakes. But overall, that was kind of a stalemate of a fight. Both teams just got beat the living hell out of, so we are both forced to go back. It's a little bit worse for us just because they have the Drake top, which means they have empowered minions. So both teams being forced to back means that the enemy team is going to be getting a nice little boost to their map pressure just because they're going to be having waves everywhere with their empowered minions. With our Elsu getting one shot by the Kriknak, we really need to just defend, especially since, I don't know, Elsu's kind of important for us. Nobody's going top to stop the big ass wave and also the Drake, so I go to do it. I guess Lindis really wanted the kill instead, which is fine. They can fight all they want as long as this tower gets defended and this Drake dies. The longer you leave up Drake, the more of an advantage the enemy team gets, so you kind of want to take it out as soon as possible, especially if there's only one person defending the Drake. They do get a mid tower here, but it's okay. We are 12 minutes into the game at this point, and the mid tower really isn't doing too much, I'm gonna be honest. We make our way back over. You see, we do have the bracers this game. That is just because they have like Vera and Grak, and in case you guys didn't know, you can cleanse the Grak ult with bracers. I ping top and tell Arthur to go, but instead Elsu goes, and then literally everyone else goes top. But in case you guys don't see the map, Darkslayer is up in 25 seconds, so we need one person to push top, and then we can rotate back down. I get a nice toss onto the Vera again. Arthur ults the Grak, and Grak ults in return, but it hits nothing. We get a nice little pick onto the Vera. Florentino is pushing bots, and I kind of want to just push mid as a return, like a trade. The Kriknak absolutely destroys our Elsu once again, and the Hayate takes out the L'Oreal, but it's fine. We get the mid tower out of that. The Lindis walks right into the Florentino and gets absolutely destroyed, and I think she's dead, but she manages to make it alive. I flicker over the wall, I pop my bracer for the little heal, and I block Florentino's flowers, and the Lindis does manage to survive. A clean little a clean little ace. It was a 3 for 0. With the 4 of them down now, one of them just respawned. We can still push this mid tower, especially if I play aggressive and zone out this Vera. My team will be finishing off this tower, but not the Vera, and that is completely okay. One high ground down. That is just the beginning to our inevitable victory in this game, guys. We have Elsu, Lindis, so we do scale really, really well. Also a L'Oreal. All three of them are late game hyper carries, so if we lose this game at this point, boy, that would be rough. The Lindis is soloing the Darkslayer, but it's okay because Elsu will help her out in just a second. There we go. We get a nice little Darkslayer buff that is great for us. We can push bot right here, but instead our entire team leaves. Don't really know why. We need to push down this tower. We have absolutely no pressure over the bottom half of the map right now, and we will be taking this first tower rather in just a second. We see that they have 5 people on the top left, I guess top right quadrant of the map. I don't know, I guess top left. The more that I think about this, the more trippy it is because it's a diagonal map. Anyways, the red quadrant, the enemy red quadrant of the map. So we can just always play around them, especially when we know if they have an advantage. Nobody was pushing bot except for the L'Oreal, and L'Oreal thought she could 1v4, so she dies. Grak lands his ult just on me. I throw my ult down and manage to get the Cricknack. We were just fighting around the Lindis at this point. She's very, very fed, so we will play around her as much as we can. The Arthur goes down, but it's okay because we get a Cricknack and a Grak in return. My team is pushing out the bot tower, but I'm more worried about the Drake mid. I really wish we could defend that. I want to take out this Vera so she cannot defend, but my team backs off at the same time that I go in. I think the Vera actually flickers away, but it's okay. The Florentino is using his entire combo on me, and it's not really working out too well for him. We have another wave coming bot soon. Vera and Florentino both were forced to go back and heal, so maybe we can take out this bot tower. I throw my ult down. The Vera gets caught in it. We will get this nice little pick onto her as a secondary prize for our bot tower. So now we have 2 Cracky Grounds down. The Enraged Abyssal Dragon is up, and all we have to do is take that, steamroll over the enemy once or twice, and the game is over, boys. That is all we need to do. I make my way over towards our team doing the Drake, and Lindis has ideas of her own. If the enemy team came and collapsed right now, we would be in a pretty rough spot. We saw Cricknack at his red just there, so definitely it was possible that the enemy team stole, but nobody contested, so we got the Drake just fine. We now have the Enraged Abyssal Dragon buff, and that is a lot of combat stats for us. Cricknack is doing weird stuff and gets a one-shot for that. I want to protect this wave, so I walk at the Hayate. He gets pretty chunked to about half. I get a nice little 3-man ult. The Florentino gets absolutely destroyed because his entire team is ruined. And here I cleanse the Grak ults to get the L'Oreal out and also provide more space for my team to be able to push down the high ground tower. I toss the Hayate into my team and I get hooked into the fountain, but it's okay because my team is taking down the core. Our minion wave is gone, but our hearts are not. The Lindis gets a one-shot, but it's okay because she does have the revival. We have another wave coming in, and the game will be ending there. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this game as much as I did playing it. It was a really fun solo queue Baldum game. Please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content, guys, and I will see you next time. See ya.